Hey guys, so I did it. I bought a Steam Deck OLED. And I have a lot of things to say about this thing. I have been absolutely loving it. I've had it for about a month now, and it's quickly changing the way that I play video games, so I wanted to make a video about it. We're not going to get super technical here. We're mostly just going to be talking about what I love about this thing, how it's changing the way that I play games, and hopefully provide some insight to people that are maybe on the fence about buying one, just as I was. I can say without a doubt that I do not regret buying this thing. It's amazing and I truly love it. I kind of wanted to start off with a little bit of background. So I've been a gamer for almost 25 years, and in that time I've had the privilege of owning most of the consoles that have been released since about 1997 or so. The Game Boy Color was my first handheld, and I still remember my dad taking me to buy one when I was about 6 years old. I bought the purple one that day, and I still remember that we bought a copy of Pokemon Blue as well. That memory is always going to be in my mind because ultimately that Game Boy Color is what made me fall in love with video games in the first place. Growing up, I always had a handheld with me. I would have a PSP or a DS in my backpack when I went to school. I would take it to my friends' houses. I would always have it with me, and very fond memories of that time. I also have a lot of fond memories of even the PlayStation Vita. I had that thing throughout college, and during this time was when I started to get into indie games and JRPGs. Persona 4 Golden on that thing is probably still one of my favorite experiences ever. I guess what I'm trying to say is that after all this time, it's clear to me that I have a special love for handheld gaming. I'm 31 years old now, and the days of me sitting at my desk or on the couch for hours on end are dwindling pretty rapidly, unfortunately. So having a handheld I can use when I have time, wherever that may be, is something that keeps me engaged with gaming, one of my biggest passions in life. Having the freedom to play at home in bed or on the couch is something that I truly value these days, and it's also the primary reason why I fell in love with the Switch when it came out in 2017. Having Nintendo's flagship titles like Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey be primarily designed for a handheld machine was awesome, and I'm very glad that they decided to go that route. I'm sure they are too, since the Switch is now on track to become the best-selling console of all time, which is still crazy to me. However, although I do love the Nintendo Switch and its first-party offerings, the third-party releases on it have always felt like a compromised, maybe lower quality experience. I often have a hard time justifying playing these games rather than on my PS5 or PC because of this. I think the perfect example is The Witcher 3. The game has been available on Switch for a long time, and although it is impressive that the game has a decent Switch port, it's hard for me to justify playing that game on there rather than on my PC where it's fully maxed out, great frame rate, and all the rest. The same scenario goes also for games like BioShock Infinite, Doom, or Skyrim. All great games with impressive ports on the Switch, but it's kind of hard to justify it if you have other platforms where they run so much better. The Switch's performance and limited third-party library have always sort of kept it from becoming my favorite console of all time, but I'm glad to say that the Steam Deck remedies both of those issues, and it does it well. I have to admit that I was hesitant to buy the Steam Deck when it first released. I didn't know how to feel about the size of this thing. It kind of looked too big to be a handheld in my opinion. And since I already had a Switch, PS5, and PC, I didn't really know if I was really the target demographic for something like this. But now that I have one, I'm glad to say that I was dead wrong. In the month that I've had this thing, I haven't been able to put it down, and it's become my primary way of playing video games. There are so many things about this device that continue to impress me every single day. Whenever I booted up the Steam Deck for the first time, I was amazed when I saw most of my Steam library that was already there, just waiting to be played. It doesn't only have access to one of the biggest gaming platforms in the world, but it's also a fantastic emulation device. I haven't really tinkered too much with the emulation yet, but I've seen many videos on here about this topic, and it makes the Steam Deck a console that you could play seemingly for an endless amount of time with that level of access. Many argue that the Steam Deck is probably the best emulation device out there, and at this point, I don't doubt it. The Steam Deck is just able to do things that I've always wanted in a handheld. For example, having the Halo Master Chief Collection on a portable device is something that I would have never imagined. This was one of my first holy shit moments with the Steam Deck. I think that if someone came to 15-year-old me, who was obsessed with Halo 3's multiplayer at the time, and told me that one day I would be able to play this on a handheld device anywhere I wanted, I would not have believed them. These games run exceptionally well on Steam Deck, and having the campaign and multiplayer components both on a portable device is something that's truly amazing. But it's not only the Steam Deck's ability to run the games that I grew up with flawlessly. Sure, I've had a great time returning to games like Fallout, BioShock, and Diablo, but more often than not, I find myself playing new games that I've never tried on the Steam Deck. This device is helping me play more games on my backlog, which is a double-edged sword because I think in the month that I've had it, it's made my backlog at least double in size. I know that I've said this before in previous videos, but this year I really want to tackle the JRPG genre. I want to play a lot of the games that I've missed over the years, and the Steam Deck, in my opinion, is a great place for me to do just that. These games are long, and being able to play them anywhere is sort of essential for me. I know that the Nintendo Switch is a great place to play JRPGs, but I think the Steam Deck's form factor, at least for me, is way more comfortable for longer play sessions, which are better suited for these types of games in my opinion. Being able to play Persona 5 Royal on my PC and then continue to play it in bed or on the couch right after is just something that's truly exciting. I think it will really make the goal of completing these games much more attainable, and that's one of the things that I love about it. What I love about the Steam Deck the most though, in the time that I've had it, is just that it makes me excited to play more games. I want to get back into Monster Hunter World on this thing, I want to replay Oblivion and Skyrim, I want to finally play Hades and Dragon Quest XI and so many other games that I've missed over the last few years. So it's clear that the Steam Deck is fantastic, but what sets it apart from all the other devices that I've owned? Why is it exactly that this video is titled "The Steam Deck OLED is a Dream Come True"? Well, I believe it's a combination of things that come together and create a device that suits me better than almost anything else I've ever owned before. First, the form factor of the Steam Deck is just awesome. It feels way better to hold than the Switch in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I love my Nintendo Switch Lite, but the offset sticks on that tiny device can get uncomfortable after a few hours. Second, the selection of games that are available to play on Steam Deck is unparalleled in my opinion. Not to mention that you have some of the best emulation available to you as well, unlocking thousands of games for you if you decide to go that route. Third, but certainly not least, is its ability to sync with PC. Playing a game on PC and then immediately picking back up where I left off on Steam Deck is an amazing feature. It helps me finish longer games that I may not always find the time to play at my desk or on my PS5. There are obviously other things that I love about this thing, including the beautiful OLED screen, the fantastic frame rates, and so on, but the three things that I mentioned are what the Steam Deck excels at, and the things that make this device perfect, at least for me. But the Steam Deck, in my opinion, is not just for people like me. I think it's great if you're a fan of handheld gaming, emulation, PC gaming, RPGs, shooters, action games, or whatever else. I believe the Steam Deck has something for you, and it does it very well. Now, there's no denying that this is an expensive device, but I can honestly say without a doubt that I don't regret it. It's one of the best gaming purchases that I've made by far, and there's no question about that. As I get older and have less time to play games, I'm glad to have things like the Steam Deck and the Nintendo Switch with me at all times. It allows me to stay engaged with this medium that I love so much and makes me excited to experience new games that have eluded me in the past. But anyways guys, those are my thoughts on the Steam Deck after owning one for about a month. I just wanted to take some time to gush about it here and hopefully provide some good insight in case someone is maybe on the fence about buying one, just as I was. Feel free to drop your recommendations for great games on Steam Deck in the comments below, I'd love to read them. Lastly, I just want to thank you all for watching today. I've been on YouTube for a little while now and I've been really enjoying making these videos. It's been a great creative outlet for me and an awesome place for me to talk about something that I enjoy so much. But with that, I'll let you guys go, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon.